All right. Up next, the Morrigan. Let's talk about the Morrigan in Smite 2.
Yep.
This goddess just has so much, technical work that goes into her. And one of the cool things we'll find out when we get to Ultimate is that the new systems of Smite 2 play with this character in some really interesting ways. Yeah. To put it short.
Yeah, so overall the Morrigan, a lot of the focus has been on the ult, and when we first implemented it, our main goal was copy the other character exactly. And then we're going to start figuring out what exception rules we want to have. Where in Smite 1, a lot of the rules that she had was kind of forced because of how we could copy the character and make it work. We started from a fresh slate. And so when you transform into a god, you'll get their abilities, and you'll get them with cooldowns reset like you expect.
Right.
But you'll also get all their items. And because active items exist, you get their active items, and their active items will have no cooldown. So if someone has Scepter Dominion and you transform, you get access to that immediately. Additionally, we're also going to let you copy their defensive relic. In this test, this won't be how it is final, but in this test, that also won't have a cooldown. Yeah. So you'll be able to have access to their blink or beads.
It won't be on cooldown at the time you transform into it. It'll still go on cooldown.
Right.
It'll still go on cooldown, but I think when you transform back, it'll just be yours again.
Right.
We are planning on making that a shared in the future.
Okay.
But just for this test, know that that's
so you can transform into someone, use all their kit, use all their active items, use their combat blink, and then turn back into Morrigan and immediate combat blink again.
Yep.
Yeah.
For this test, it's very strong.
I thought that this character didn't change very much, Pon.
The ultimate on its own has a lot of interesting stuff. Other quality of life things is if you're a Morrigan player, you know that you have to kind of learn everyone else's where their AO1, AO2, AO3, AO4, where they are, so to know what to rank for yourself, because when you transform in Smite 1, you just inherit the rank that they have. Or you if you spiked your 2,
your ranks, their kit.
Yeah, their 2 is going to be ranked up.
Right, you don't want 4 points in Death Scythe or Scent of Death at level 9.
No, I do not want 2 points of Scent of Death at level 1. So now what it does is we actually now record how they ranked up their skills, so that when you transform, you copy it exactly.
I want that rank 5 Death Scythe when I become Thanatos.
Yeah, it basically what they're picking, you'll have access to. You don't have to worry about changing your Morrigan playstyle to accommodate that. It also means if you're transforming into like a jungle Athena versus a support Athena, one might be maxing taunt, one might be maxing more damage, and you actually might want the CC. So this just makes who you're transforming into better matches what they're currently doing in that match. If you're a higher level and you transform, it'll then defer to auto buy after it's allocated all the points. So at the end, auto buy generally spikes one ability.
And then I can blame Pon for it.
Yeah. Then you can blame that we have made terrible auto skills.
Gotcha.
And it's a problem. But overall, this should make it a lot easier for Morrigan players to play the way they want to when they're playing the Morrigan and transform into something that is useful and impactful and representative of the character they transformed into.
Yeah. Now you got to talk to me about the rest of the kit here, Pon. You're gonna show off a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me actually spawn some bots. So your passive is very similar. It does the AoE, does the damage over time.
New effects look so nice.
Yeah, all the new effects look really, really good. And this is an in-hand effect in the sense that it can crit too. So if you want to build crit and you want to make this percent health damage that does crit, feel free.
And AoE like basic attacks.
Yeah.
So it's like
I actually went a like attack speed jungle start to specifically make use of this while clearing the jungle. It was actually really good. So definitely play around with that. We are also talking about in the next alpha weekend, so it won't be in this one. This will proc your 2. So if I use it now and here, you'll see that this actually does work, but that's not going to be representative of what's in AWE3. But know that that's another thing coming up for her in the next weekend.
It's good to know.
You got your 1, your clones. They fire, they stun. The new VFX look really sick.
They do.
You got the 2 with the mark. And then the 3 has some new rules. So, well, I'm supersonic, so my clone is supersonic. So there's change.
That's amazing.
The clone inherits your
Sonic
speed.
and Shadow kit.
Your clone inherits your speed, and it also inherits the animation state that you're in when you cast it. Our goal was to really make this ability confusing, because you're supposed to try and deceive your opponents. And so it copies your movement speed, it copies your animation state, the health bar switches seamlessly to this, it copies your current health. All the stuff gets copied to make it as confounding as possible. And now when the clone, let me turn off supersonic.
They're really believable. Yeah. People are falling for it.
Yeah. And now the clone, when it gets hit, so let's see if I can get these these Ymir bots will not attack, but maybe I can get
basic
the tower to do
attack.
it.
If they just basic attack, you can throw them in front of them.
You can see there the health bar disappeared and it turned into that kind of ghostly version of itself. It stays alive after it gets hit, and it'll actually kind of laugh at the person who triggered it to be like, haha, you got fooled. But the reason for
That's
that
some
is
Discordia stuff. I love
when
it.
you throw it out, it actually grants vision. So if something is in this bush, so if I spawn a Ymir here, the bots aren't going to respect this because bots are weird
Bots
and they
cheat,
don't
yeah.
they cheat and they don't respect our rules. But
You could put
it's-
one behind a wall, maybe.
Imagine, yeah, maybe that might work. Let's see. This
So
provides
these are
vision.
like these are wards essentially. These are shootable wards. There
Yeah,
you
so you can see again
Supersonic is
Sonic
back.
again.
Hey, fire giant.
Yeah, the fire.
Fire Giant got confused too. He turned around.
Yeah, he was really.
Even he fell for it.
But this
Idiot.
lets you scout out bushes. This lets you scout things. You can throw this in a lane, and again, it is very convincing. People will get fooled by this. If you're running forward, it's really hard for them to actually see that moment of where it changed. So we looked for that kind of improvements to make sure that the base kit felt really good as well.
So even though there's no like straight up ability rework on this kit, you can see there's a lot of really cool technical things
Yeah.
that have extremely impactful gameplay results as well.
Yeah.
So this character, I think, keeping her reputation for skill ceiling and complexity in a very interesting and unique ways, and shout outs to the engineering team for taking care of her really early and thinking about this from the beginning of the whole game.
Yeah.
It was essentially designed around making sure we could do this ability in a good way that will serve us well for years.
Yeah, shout outs to Josh especially. There's a thread that was like 100 pages long of
Oh my gosh.
just descent into madness with programming of all the edge cases that can happen here and what they had to do to resolve this stuff. Just I want to make sure that I shouted out that because
great.
this was the ultimate is just a huge undertaking in general.
Absolutely.
It
Now,
really-
Pawn,
it
will
really
the
is.
ultimate
Yeah,
work
let's
with bots? Yeah, I was
actually-
gonna say we gotta.
Yeah, we didn't actually transform yet.
You turned into Ymir bot.
Yeah.
So you get Ymir bot's super bot powers, which sometimes bots just do weird stuff. I don't know exactly what it would be, but
And you can see we have the same tech where you make sure that you actually finish your ability before you detransform. All the base stuff that you would expect to see should work here.
do
You
that
can see-
transform again. Oh, there's a that's really cool. That anim stance.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing is we did put an anim stance in for this, so now you can tell when she is trying to choose a new target. You can tell when you have this targeter up.
And
Again,
it just flows into the actual transform really cool.
yep.
Ymir's here.
Ymir
I love like the purple glow on the outside of the god model too.
Yep, it's there to help you also know that this is a transform target. Just to make sure that there's a lot of things that happen where like you see two of the same exact character and it's kind of hard to parse. That just kind of helps with the information of that.
All right. Well, that is the Morrigan. Shall we get into the Hecate?
It's
First
time.
all new god of Smite 2. Our first
The
Smite
first-
2 exclusive god reveal, right?
Yeah, this is the first new Smite god since Newt.